It starts with a flicker, then darkness, then that silence you only get when everything electric stops at once. Not a normal power cut, not a bit of weather, something broke. And a couple of days in, the scariest part isn't even the dark, it's the feeling that the rules outside your door are changing. Your smart doorbell, dead. Your Wi-Fi camera, dead. The keypad alarm you paid monthly for is just a blinking brick. And your neighbours, you start noticing the looks. Not at you, at your house. Welcome to Charlie Survival. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When the power dies, security becomes physical again. Not purchased, not app-based, engineered. So today I'm going to show you how to turn your home into a zero-cost fortress using what you already have in 3 phases. No shopping list, no buy this £400 gadget, just geometry, psychology and a few boring tricks that still work when the grid doesn't. If you're new here, hit subscribe for calm, practical UK survival and preparedness. And a quick question for the comments, keep it simple. What's your home's weakest entry point right now? Front door, back door, patio doors, or ground floor window? Just pick one, it helps everyone think like a defender. The iron rule. Before we start, this is not about body traps, spikes, rigs, or anything that could injure someone, including your own family, your neighbours, or emergency services. This is about making your house harder to approach, slower to enter, louder if someone tries, more awkward to move through, and less attractive than the next place. That's it, because in a breakdown, most trouble is opportunistic. People don't want a hard job, they want an easy win. So your mission is to become the hard job, and you're going to do it without spending a penny. Phase 1, the invisible wall. Make them regret even looking at your house. Phase 1 is everything that happens before anyone touches your door. Most people focus on the door, locks, chains, cameras, but the truth is the decision is often made from the pavement, the hedge, from the side alley, from the driveway, so we weaponize 2 things, exposure and uncertainty. 1, clear sightlines, no hiding places. Walk outside and look at your home like you're trying to break in. Where could someone stand without being seen? Where could someone crouch by a window? Where could someone work at all without being visible? Those pretty bushes under the windows, that tree blocking the view from the street, that's cover, that's concealment, that's a free workshop for someone who doesn't want to be seen. Zero cost move. Trim vegetation around doors and ground floor windows you're aiming for. Low plants near windows, no dense shrubs right next to entry points, no nooks where someone can disappear. You're basically removing the comfortable hiding spots. It might make the garden look less cozy, but cozy doesn't save you. 2, make approach noisy. Sound is your free alarm. Once you've cleared sight lines, you want one more layer, noise, because at night when everything is quiet, even small sound carries. Zero cost move. Use what you already have. Gravel, crunchy stones, bark chippings, even decorative pebbles in planters. Put noisy surfaces under windows and along the side routes where someone would creep. Again, not a trap, not a trip hazard, just a surface that makes stealth difficult. Silent approaches become slower. Slower approaches increase your reaction time. 3, kill predictability. Don't be easy to read. People love patterns because patterns reduce risk. If someone watches your street and learns this house is always dark at night or this house always leaves the side gate open, you're giving away free information, so remove the patterns. Zero cost moves. If you have a car, park in different positions when possible. If you use curtains, vary which ones are open and closed. Move outdoor items occasionally, a chair, a bin, a plant pot. If you've got any lighting, torches, lanterns, don't use it at the same time nightly. The goal is to look unpredictable. Unpredictability equals risky. If you're ready to become more resilient in the UK, head over to the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list. I've put lists together from items I've used and tested, from home survival to bug out kit. Click the link in the description after this video. 4, look occupied, not abandoned. This one matters in large outages. A neglected house can attract the wrong attention. People assume there's no one home, or they assume there's an easy grab. You don't need to manicure the lawn like a golf green. You just want the place to say, someone is here, someone is awake. Simple, boring signals. Front area tidy, nothing obviously left out. No obvious nobody's home vibe. 5, stop advertising. This is controversial, but I'll say it anyway. In normal homes, people slap up security stickers like a deterrent. In a grid down scenario where cameras and alarms don't work, those stickers can become advertising. Here's the house with the good stuff. So the real deterrent isn't a sticker, it's the experience of approaching your home. Exposed, noisy, uncertain, and not worth the risk. The phase 1 goal is make your house feel like an effort. Now phase 2. Phase 2, the geometry of movement. Turn your home into a problem they don't want to solve. If someone ignores deterrence and tries entry, your job isn't to battle them. Your job is to control time and space, because time gives you options. Space gives you safety. Step 1. Identify your tactical highway. Pick your most likely breach point: back door, patio doors, ground floor window, garage side access. Now ask, if that point is breached, is there a clean straight path deeper into the house? If yes, you've built a motorway for someone. So we add friction. Step 2. Create friction with furniture. No barricades, just awkwardness. Don't stack everything into an obvious wall. That screams I'm ready for war and can escalate behavior. Instead, create a chicane, an L-shaped route that forces a turn. Think like this: if someone comes in fast, they hit an obstacle. If they slow down, they lose momentum. If they try to go around, they expose themselves longer. Zero cost examples. Angle a bookcase slightly to break straight line movement. Shift a heavy chair so the obvious path isn't obvious. Place a side table so it forces a small detour. You're not building a maze for fun, you're removing easy flow. Step 3. Stop the straight line to bedrooms. Most people sleep upstairs or at the back. You don't want a clean, direct route from the most vulnerable entry point to where your family is. So ask, from the patio door, can someone see the stairs? From the back door, can someone walk straight down the hall to the bedrooms? If yes, you adjust. Your house should feel unfamiliar to a stranger in the dark, but familiar to you. Step 4. Pick a safe room, not cinematic, practical. This isn't Hollywood safe room, it's just a plan. Pick one room where you can gather everyone quickly. Ideally upstairs, ideally with a door that closes properly, ideally with a torch and phone. Your goal is not to roam the house, your goal is to consolidate people, lock one door and control your decisions. In that room, put torches and head torches, a power bank, basic first aid, water, warm layer. Simple, boring, effective. Step 5. Use vertical advantages sensibly. If you have stairs, you have a natural advantage, because stairs slow movement, create noise, force someone into a narrow approach. But the goal isn't to stand there like a guard. The goal is stairs by time. Time lets you act calmly instead of panicking. Step 6. Lighten discipline inside. If the power's out and you're using torches, remember light leaks through the windows. So in a serious situation, you keep light low, shielded and away from windows. You can see, but you don't broadcast. The phase 2 goal is slow movement, increase uncertainty, protect your people. Now phase 3. Phase 3, silent sentinels. Early warning and reinforcement that works when the power doesn't. This is where we make the house watch for you. No electricity, no electronics, just physics. 1. The gravity alarm, noise, not harm. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book because it works. Zero cost move. Collect noisy items, empty cans, metal bowls, pot lids, a few glass jars, cutlery in a tin. Place them so if a rarely used door opens, they fall and clatter, not blocking the door, not injuring anyone, just turning movement into sound. Sound gives you seconds, sound gives you choices. 2. Door stops and wedges, ancient tech, modern win. A wedge is one of the simplest tools humans ever made, and it still works. Zero cost moves. Use a door wedge to make an internal door harder to push open. Use a broom handle or dowel in the track of sliding doors or windows. It's not fancy, it's reliable. 3. Choke points you control. In your home layout, identify where movement naturally narrows. Hallways, doorways, stairwells, narrow landings. You don't want to fight there, you want to avoid being caught there. So design your plan around them. Where you retreat, where you gather family, where you don't want to be cornered. This is preparedness, making decisions before stress makes them for you. 4. Communication plan, when phones are weird. In outages, phones can be unreliable, so a zero-cost household comms plan is, if something happens at night, everyone goes to the same room. You have a phrase like upstairs now. You don't wander the house calling names. This reduces chaos instantly. 5. Fire safety is part of defense. This is the bit nobody wants to hear, but it matters. In a blackout, a huge number of injuries come from fire and carbon monoxide, candles, stoves, heaters, poor ventilation. A fortress that burns down is not a fortress, so keep walkways clear, keep a torch by the bed, keep a fire extinguisher accessible, and treat any burning device with serious respect and ventilation. Defense includes not accidentally ending your own story. 6. Your house is already full of tools. I'm not talking about weapons, I'm talking about tools that help control space and buy time. Look around, a torch at the top of the stairs, a phone and keys always in the same place, a door wedge ready, a simple whistle in the safe room, a chair that could be moved to block a straight route. Preparedness isn't always gear, sometimes it's placement. The real secret, you're not trying to be unbreakable. Here's the truth that makes the whole thing calmer. You're not trying to build a bulletproof bunker, you're trying to make your home harder, slower, louder, more awkward than the next house. That's enough to shift more opportunists away, and if you do get in trouble, you've brought yourself time to gather your people, make decisions, call for help if possible, and not panic. And you did it without spending a penny. Your assignment tonight, do this. Tonight, walk your house as an intruder. Ask yourself, where could I approach unseen? Where are the shadows? Where are the hiding spots? Where is the clean, straight route to the bedrooms? Where would I step silently? Where would I want to work on a door? Then do one change immediately, time one hiding spot, move one piece of furniture to break a straight path, place one gravity noise alert, wedge one sliding door track, set one safe room kit. One change tonight beats 10 changes one day. If this helped in any way, hit like and subscribe for more calm preparedness and survival. Comment below your weakest entry point, front, back, patio or window, and I'll tailor the videos around the most common answer. For more UK specific survival and prepping items, head over to the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list. See what you're missing and start getting prepared this winter. You can find the link in the description. Now it's time to learn all about why 2026 is going to be a messy one. Click this video on screen now and I'll see you over there. Stay safe and stay sharp.